the Mariners just lost the game. They have dropped 5-4. They lose game one of this 3-game series. And we're going to go over the post-game show as in the first inning, La Piedra gave up a home run in the very first inning, and the Mariners were down 2-0 already. And then after that, Mariners didn't even get a hit until Julio Rodriguez got something out of it. And I'm going to keep looking at the box score of this Mariners game. And then Jay Trident, while I do that, go ahead and tell me what you thought of this game throughout.
Really, just another one-run loss, and that makes, what is this team now, like 10-18 in one-run games? I talked about in my video yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was, about how this team can turn around. They've got to start winning some of these close games. They just haven't done it all year. And listen, when it comes to teams, you're playing Baltimore and those teams, okay. Detroit's not a very good ball club. That's nothing against them personally or anything like that. It's just, it's a team the Mariners should be beating, and they can't drop these games. And it kind of, I put it all around on everybody. Now, the offense ended up kind of sparking a little bit in the late innings. But, Castillo was okay. He wasn't good enough. The bullpen was okay. I guess it was really just Ty Adcock, but outside of that, like, the offense was okay, but it just all wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? And it was just kind of been the story of the year for the team, really, and back to 500.
Back to 500 again. And some things that's going to point out to me is Mariners just giving up just bad luck home runs. Mm-hmm. And then when the Mariners were rallying, when they were making it 3-2, when it was 3-2, next thing you know, there was a ground ball from J.P. Crawford to the second baseman. A.J. Pollock had a great opportunity to score, and he didn't even bother running. So that could be one of the moments where it could have swung the game around. Then you had Ty France, who struck out on a very controversial call. Now, granted, they should have known that he was going to make calls like that. So I don't know if arguing was not much necessary, but it was the heat of moment of just frustration. And then after that, you had Gabe Speier, who pitched very well, only 8 pitches because Castillo just had enough. And then, strangely, going into the 7th inning, Scott Servais then pulls Gabe Speier for Adcock. And next thing you know, he gives up those 2 runs. And Adcock is actually one of the better pitchers on this bullpen. But at that moment, if Gabe Speier had the hot hand, it was like one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that's exactly what he did. And that's where the 2-run home run happened. But fortunately, Mariners rallied and scored one in the 8th inning with that Jared Kelenic RBI with a very controversial play at the plate where Julio could have been out. And it was controversial in every way. Mm-hmm. It was controversial to make Julio try to score, and it was slightly controversial to overturn the call due to a review, or it could have been a challenge. I think it was, I don't know what it was, probably just review. And then the bottom of the 9th inning, Mike Ford hit a home run, and there was some kind of momentum where you had Dylan Moore walking, and you had J.P. Crawford walking. You had Julio Rodriguez up to bat. You would think that he would be in for this kind of situation, but then he failed to do so. And I'm starting to think that Julio, he's not been a clutch hitter this season at all. Even in the home run derby, he lost in the semi. So his clutch factor has been gone. Like, arguably, as bad as Jared Kelenic has been since June, he's still a pretty darn clutch hitter because he did get that RBI. But those are my thoughts. 2 of the biggest factors is A.J. Pollock not trying to score home and just take that chance. And then also after that, a critical bullpen error move made by Scott Servais to pull out Gabe Speier. Now, of course, that opinion's never going to get anywhere because everyone loves Scott Servais. He says everything that everyone wants to hear. He kisses butt to everyone. He said he connects with the fans, which is why no one pays attention to moves like these. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I will point out the on the Pollock play, it was a great play by Nick Maton. Another just little inch thing that gets through. It's funny how game of inches sometimes, because that gets through. It's probably 4-3 Mariners at that point, but he makes a great play. And Pollock's halfway down. I don't know why he decided to. That was just a bizarre situation there. I don't know what he was thinking. And then Julio in the 9th, I mean, doesn't even get the bat off his shoulders there. Good pitch by Lang. I mean, I don't think he would have done anything with it, but it's just frustrating that, Julio in these situations just hasn't come through. It's just been frustrating. And I don't know if it's something in she's not clutch, or if it's just random circumstances.
Sophomore slump.
Sophomore
Sports
slump.
Illustrated cover curse.
Yeah, but it has been it's just been frustrating because that moment was there for him to have something big. And listen, he just missed a home run. I don't want to pick on him too much today. He had a decent game, but just frustrating there with a big moment to come through and couldn't do it.
And most of all, I had 600 subs right at the palm of my hand, and it went down to 582. So that's another way to describe this game. Mariners lose in the most stupid way possible. And then my YouTube channel basically had a heart attack in some points of the game. But anyways, I think that's it. But the next game we've got is George Kirby. So the Mariners have really got to take advantage. And it is a pretty advantageous situation. Detroit has one of their more inferior pitchers, but I do look at the fact that he still does strike out more than he does walk. And it's a pretty darn good ratio. So the Mariners, I think, are still going to struggle on that one.